Perhaps then we find a little positive in the way Jakob Chychrun has played. Has he played better than maybe you guys thought? Or I also know he plays in the other conference, which limits the access, and plays in Arizona, which limits it even more. Has there been any surprise to his game that you've noticed?
Not for me. I mean, not for me. I think he's come in and he's been good. He's moved the puck well. He's given them cleaner breakouts than they've had on, different units back there. I always knew he skated well. I didn't know he skated as well as he did. He really, really is smooth and glides to areas very, very well. So I don't think I'm surprised. I think we're going to see a lot. If Chaby's down, we're going to really see exactly what he is and what his game can be, because he's going to be taking on a lot more minutes here going forward, is my guess. But no surprises for me. Steady player, just makes the right play a lot of time, gives you a little bit of offense, has a bomb from the point when he wants to shoot it. So I think the scouting report's reflective of how he's played, right?
Yeah. And we got to remember, too, he's had pretty well zero practice time with the team. He's been thrown right into the fire here into a very important part of the season. I think he's handled it extremely well. Like, he's come in. He had it was like a movie scripted debut at home with the goal and assist. He was one of the stars of the game. I think he's been really good. I watched him a lot early in his career, especially when coming out of junior. He used to try and force things a lot because he's such a great skater. Mm-hmm. He's so talented. He used to get caught running around a little bit. Now, I'll be honest, I hadn't watched him a lot in Arizona, but since his earlier times in the league, he's a lot more composed. His game's quieter. And hey, that's what happens. After you played in the league for whatever he's played, 300-400 games, you relax. And the game, I like to call it, slows down for you. And it seems now he seems to be in a really good headspace as a player. And there's so many things to like about his game. And hey, he's made a few mistakes too, but again, they get magnified at this time of year. But overall, Bob, I agree. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the issue is sometimes for those guys? He's been considered a number one prospect and all that stuff since 14, 13. Like, he's been able to skate so well and dominate so early that he's never had to face that kind of, I guess, reeling back in, right?
Injuries,
and then you get to the
he's
NHL where everybody's,
Yeah. And he's had some injuries. So, like, for me, it's some big ones, yeah. And even this year, how long did he have to sit out with Arizona before they traded him? Like, that's not easy when you're not playing hockey. When you're 3 weeks, like, he's coming in here right away, and I know they eased him in a little bit, but from not playing at all to coming in and playing, that's a big ask. So he's done very well, in my opinion.
I agree.
Well, I joke now because he's played the last 2 games over 24 minutes. So he's already ready to take over Thomas Chabot's role. Since Shabby plays 25 minutes or more.
You running Chabot? Are you on the Chabot out of town?
No,
thing here?
No, that's not what I said.
What next
all I'm
for
saying
you?
Is if he. Oh God, here we go. Okay, so all right, is Jakob Chychrun better than if you had to pick one guy on your team? Are you taking Thomas Chabot or Jakob Chychrun?
One guy for what? What's the question here? To move on, to build my franchise with,
to build your defense around.
Right now, I'm taking Jake Sanderson because of his age.
Listen, can you just listen to the question?
You said one guy. Please. You said if you're taking one guy from
I gave you the option, Thomas Chabot or Jakob Chychrun. Which guy are you taking?
I'm taking Chychrun because his contract's way better. It's way better. He's at under, and you control the asset. I think anybody right now.
Listen, you're playing a beer league game tomorrow. Who are you taking as your top D?
Okay, beer league game. I'm taking Chabot all friggin' day long. In beer league, come on, he's gonna light it up. Hey, anybody that's made a decision right now on who the number one D is, who's better, who's worse, I need to see Jakob Chychrun play longer, and I need to see Thomas Chabot play down the stretch. I don't. Yeah. Evaluating Chabot for the last 5 years, I want to see how he plays down the stretch here. I want to see how Chychrun plays down the stretch here. I've said this before. We've all said this. The best time to evaluate players is this time of year and obviously the playoffs. I want to wait and see how the defense plays. By the end of the season, I will have your answer.
I agree. I don't think it's fair to either one of them to pick one based on, Chychrun being here for 5 games and being a breath of fresh air when Chabby's been in the fire for a lot longer and has really carried the load for 5 years. And maybe he's not at his best right now. And I think everybody in Ottawa can agree with that. I think Chabby would be the first to tell you he's not playing his best hockey, but he's played a lot of hockey and he's played a lot of bad hockey. So habits have kicked in. You revert to habits when things aren't going well. So he's reverting back to habits that were cultured into him in a losing environment, and they're coming out of that losing environment. So I'd really, really like to see Chabby down the stretch play some good hockey, and then he can kind of build on that for next year. But I don't think it's fair to either one of them because Chychrun hasn't played here long enough either. He's running on fumes and adrenaline right now, and that's going to calm down a little bit as well. So kind of, it's a tough loaded question, but I'm still I'm taking Chabby right now. I love playing with him. He settles the game down so much for you.
Yeah. I just don't.
There.
I don't know.
Jason,
I don't
listen, Yorkie. How easy it was to answer that question.
I don't know what. I can't evaluate Chychrun on 5 games. I can't.
Yeah.
Like I want to see him play. I want to see him play tonight. How does he play against McDavid? Like to me, this is a great game to watch and see how guys play against the best player in the world, and arguably the second in Draisaitl. So. It's I think it's way premature to even have that discussion. You want to talk about evaluating players? I know we don't have time for this, but people that were evaluating DeBrincat the first 5 games, but now we've seen him for a full season. You got a better idea of what the player is. Like I need to see both play longer. That's so. Anyways, I'm not answering until I see both players down the stretcher, and I will answer at the end of the season.
I'm going to get a fence sitting graphic for you.